5 things you didn't know about Timbuktu. Its location. Under the Mali Empire, Timbuktu was located in West Africa, situated north of the Niger River, and because of its location, Timbuktu became an integral part of the camel caravan trade route. Having the Sahara Desert just north of it, Timbuktu became the most traveled place in Africa. Timbuktu was located at the end of the camel caravan trade route, which linked these to other countries that they were trading with, in terms of gold, ostrich feathers, salt, slaves, to name a few. Timbuktu was first seen as a resting place for nomadic travelers. Its location was everything. Being on the caravan trade route meant it could be used as a resting place for nomadic tribes. Founded about 1100 AD or Common Era, Timbuktu was named after an old woman who was left to oversee the camp while the Tuareg roamed the Sahara Desert, and legend has it that her name was Baktu. Timbuktu was one of the richest cities in the world, where it was then made the capital of Mali. Timbuktu then capitalized on the Sahara trade route. Timbuktu was rich in gold, as this was one of their most imported trading commodities, and the other of which was slaves. Under the Mali Empire, Timbuktu was famous for the Jingaber Mosque and the Sankore University. Mansa Musa. Mansa Musa was a great ruler that hailed from Mali and West Africa. He was one of the greatest rulers of all time and one of the richest men that the world has ever seen. Mansa Musa had used slaves and was one of the rulers that supported the use of slavery in terms of taking prisoners, thieves, isolated or ostracized members of society and turning them into slaves. He was a Muslim ruler who did not forcibly convert people of Mali. Rather, he left them with a decision. He then took pilgrimage in the year 1324 and went to Mecca in true style, with 60,000 men and 12,000 slaves, hundreds of elephants and camels, all adorned with gold. Mansa Musa maintained his wealth by imposing a tax on both exports and imports. He ensured that the palace was well presented and gloriously kept. Mansa Musa brought back from Mecca scholars and architects and proceeded to build what is known today as the Great Mosque. He made sure that Muslim scholars taught those that wanted to read and write so that most of his people could be literate. His administration ran smoothly this way because of the literacy levels that Mali and Timbuktu had. Today, his net worth is around about $400 billion. Timbuktu was also seen as a center of learning towards its peak days. During Europe's Middle Ages, it was home to a rich writing tradition that saw the creation of millions of manuscripts, hundreds and thousands of which survived still today. It was an Islamic city with 3 large mosques that rely on the Quran and formed the foundation of this learning tradition that we know it to have, with its scholars composing works on subjects such as astronomy, mathematics, law, geography, and history. The Sankore University was established, which was one of Africa's first universities built by the great ruler Mansa Musa. Sadly, Timbuktu did decline. As the European countries established sea travel and utilized it as a means for transport for trade, this impacted greatly and negatively on the camel caravan trade route. The trade route was then seen as obsolete, as sea travel was a much faster means of travel when compared to walking for thousands of kilometers. Soon, Timbuktu lost its economic hold on the region as they were then figuratively kicked out of the center stage. As they became weaker, and after the death of their great ruler Mansa Musa, they were open to multiple attacks by the Moroccans. When the Moroccans invaded, they took the city, and hence its decline began. As the turn of the 19th century, Mali was then colonized by the French. Today, Timbuktu is seen as a shadow of its former self. Sadly, a mud-built town of around 30,000 people on the edge of the Sahara Desert, and ironically, a city of gold that is no longer rich.